What is up, everybody? It is July 14th, also known as opening day for Saratoga. Welcome back to Dudes Who Bet Daily here, noon Eastern every single Wednesday through Sunday. I'm here with my man, Aaron Halterman, joining me again, wearing Saratoga red as well, or St. Louis Cardinals red, depending on what football team you're rooting for here. Aaron, how's it going, man?
No, man, it's Saratoga red. It's definitely Saratoga red. And yeah, we started a minute early because you're like, let's just knock this out. I got to get to the track. I said, I don't blame you one bit. So
let's go, baby. I mean, we packed the coolers. We're ready to go. I'm literally putting some pants on so I can go in the paddock later and then headed to the racetrack as soon as this damn thing's over. So I cannot wait, man.
I love it, man. We were walking, my wife and I were walking, and we were supposed to leave tomorrow morning. And I said, you know what? About after the 9th, 10th race at Saratoga today, why don't we just get in the car and head that way? So you know what we're going to do? We're going to get in the car after the 10th race today from Saratoga and head that way. So I'm super excited.
I still don't fully believe you will be an hour and a half from the track and not make it there this weekend. There's you're now leaving a day early just to get here a day early. You're telling me you're not going to make it to the track. I can't. You're like 1 to 9. You're going to the track this weekend at some point.
Secretly, that may be why I'm leaving today. Just I can't say it too loud. There may be listening ears around, but yeah. Yeah, secretly. I would say I'll be there. Yeah.
You're wildly underestimating your wife if you don't think she knows why you want to leave today.
True. Very true. Very, very true. Also, I think we'll go through like Presque Isle. Maybe they're running a race at Presque Isle today. We could go watch that. No.
One of the if you want to check out Racing Dude's YouTube page, 5 best tracks, 5 smaller tracks in the US. Presque Isle made Aaron's list there.
They are running today, but I don't think I can make it by the last race.
You just gotta leave earlier.
As in like minus 12 hours ago or at least 5.
Well, we got basically horses here from Aaron and I because we're both so excited about Saratoga that we are definitely going that direction. Papa Dude coming at us here with a baseball pick. So we'll kick it off here with Papa Dude's baseball pick real quick. He's taking the Rangers minus 119. I dug into this a little bit. Martin Perez starting for the Rangers, 2.72 ERA. You got an absolutely blow-up starter on the other side. My guess is that's why Papa Dude's leaning here. Did he give you any insight on it?
He just said, look, I hit it yesterday, and I got to come up here and do it again. So he took the Rangers minus the 119. Yeah, he did kind of talk about the pitching matchup, and that was the big reason why he's leaning towards the Rangers today.
Yeah, he carried the torch for us yesterday. Magic's just stone cold under on that 2.5 number, man. 1-0. That was pretty incredible. The Padres let me down. We were up 3-0. We were up 6-3. Lose 10-6. That kind of sucks. So that's no fun. And yeah, LZ, man, what happened there?
Didn't get the lead. It ran in place, but didn't get the lead. Got second. It was a horrible effort. Yeah, so it was bad all the way around.
Anyway, we got Saratoga now. Do you want to kick it off? Do you want me to kick it off? Who do you want to go first here?
Go ahead. Do it.
All right. I was just going to play the 4 to win in the third race, but I decided to play a little bit of daily double action here. Second, third race. This second race, we've got a first-time starter here for the Pletcher Barn. I'm going to pull up my notes here so I can give you the full complement of information here. Chocolate Gelato, the 6 horse, going out first time for the Pletcher Barn. Chocolate Gelato has been working with / outworking, depending on who you ask, Goddess of Fire, who is going to be running in the 7th today, the stakes race. She's a stakes placed horse, ran second to Kathleen O down in Florida. She should be an absolute monster. I also hate the Ward on the rail, so that's another reason why I'm doing this. Half a chance, debuted on the turf. Now we're switching over to the dirt. I think it's more of a turf horse. Half a chance is dangerous because half a chance was able to get the lead. Probably will get the lead again. But for my money, I'd rather take the more touted outside horse, first-time starter. I think you're going to get, hopefully, 60% of the money on the outside horse versus 80 or 90 because of that one horse, the Ward horse in here.
Yeah, it's a Ward horse debuting has a debut race where all the other 5 are debuting, and I think that she will take some of that money for sure. I am with you. I've got the 6 singled in the spot.
I was going to go 6-4 in a lot of my early stuff. I ended up just going 6. I'm probably going to play a rather big exacta cold 6-4 in that race. But I am going to lean on the 6 pretty heavily in press tickets, things like that through the early pick 5. And then the third race, I really like the 4 horse High Tide. I wasn't as high on High Tide until Be Here scratched out the 2 horse, who is another speed horse here. You're going to have some token pressure, I think, from the outside, and Grand Journey, the 9 horse. So I think the 9 probably goes. And this is a situation where High Tide is the most tactical horse in the race, could wire this field if able to get the lead, and has the best kick. So it sets up wonderfully now that you have just one single speed to the outside. High Tide can show speed at the rail, let the 9 clear, and then get an absolutely beautiful pocket trip, or just wire this field. Either way, I think the 4 High Tide has a very good chance of winning as well. So my best bet here, I'm going to play a daily double, race 2, 6 with 4. Hopefully we can get, I'm thinking maybe 4 or 5 to 1 here on this combination, maybe a little bit higher depending on how heavily the 4 gets bet and how much money the 1 takes in that first leg.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I think the key to the payout will be just how much money the 6 takes. And it's almost one of those things that you want the 6 to take a lot of money in some regards, because then the horse is really live. If Pletcher's 2 to 1 in that first race, that's a really bad sign. So we'll see what happens with that one. High Tide, I totally agree. The scratch was huge of the 2. I wasn't high on High Tide, like you put it as well. But with the scratch of the 2, the 4 certainly should get the inside speed trip. We'll see how this turf course is playing. It sometimes can be quirky one way or the other, but 2 turns on the turf, you got a little bit of speed. I think the 4's got a good shot. So I like it. I like the daily double there.
Awesome, man. I'm excited to hear more about yours as well. This is a horse that I'm probably going to have a lot relying on here today. So tell us a little bit about why the coach is going to win the feature on opening day in 2022 here at Saratoga.
Boy, it just feels like he's going to do it, and the coach has had such a resurgence. And I heard you talk about it on Magic Mike, and you're so right. It's nothing more than he's getting really good horses again, where he just wasn't for a span of 3 or 4 years there. Of course, the coach was not here because of COVID on 2020, and then 2021, he just didn't have any horses to bring up here, and he smartly stayed up at Ellis. He's got a string of 16 this year. I love it. I'm glad he's back. And one of them, obviously, a Secret Oath that he's brought up. But this horse, the number 9 Summer Promise, looks awfully, awfully good. You brought it up on Magic Mike, and I totally agree. The coach is not great on debut. This horse was sensational on debut. Broke from the rail, which is usually not a good thing for a first-time starter, especially a 2-year-old. Didn't break well, and that's usually, big problems. David Cohen rushes the horse up. That's usually a big problem for a 2-year-old. When they get rushed out of the gate after breaking poorly, they kind of just lock on and go crazy up front. As soon as he got her where he wanted her to be, she turned it off, sat patiently. Nice job of just relaxing once we got to the lead, and then kicked home very strongly down the lane. Now draws the outside post. I don't hate it. I would totally hate it if I thought this was a horse that was just going to go balls to the wall. I don't think that's the case. I think she can sit off if they're going fast and be just fine. And then if they don't go fast, I think she can go out there and assume the lead. So I think she's got a really good mind to win first out for the coach. I think you have to have that. I think she's got the talent. I think it's a really good spot for us. The number 9 Summer Promise is going to be my bet for the show here today. I'm super excited, and I think the coach gets it done for the 6th time in the Schuylerville.
Record-setting 6th Schuylerville victory if he's able to get it done. I think it's really interesting here because you made what to me is really the key point here. The outside draw, I think, is a plus. This is a race where 8 of the 9 horses wired their fields. The 9th horse is a maiden. Okay, so it's a really interesting from that perspective. You got 2 out now, so I guess we're now in the 7 post instead of the 9 post. But anyway, 6 to 7 wired the field. There's 1 maiden in here who came from off the pace. There was some professionalism in this 9 horses effort. Summer Promise, like you said, settled after being put into place, and Cohen had no choice. When you're on the rail, you're not going to be like, oh, that's cool, let's settle behind 4 horses first time out on the rail as a 2-year-old filly. No, you're going to use what you have as a weapon, your speed, and go forward. But then that ability to settle is so key here because Sias is going to be able to pick his trip. If this horse breaks and goes, Sias sends, cool, we're fine, we're on the lead. If the horse breaks okay or with the pack, Sias has the option to do what he wants to do. And the fact that we're able to settle and then push that button and kick clear in the stretch tells you, like you said, the mind here. The horse has the mind already to be able to kind of get a stalking trip if needed. I think that's really the differentiator here with the 9-horse Summer Promise. So I like Summer Promise quite a bit. You got a Pletcher in here, Just Cindy, who came from off the pace of the first race and was able to get the job done. Now draws the rail here for Just Cindy. I think that could be a little bit of a trouble, but we'll see what can happen here. Is there anyone else in this field that you thought was interesting or wanted to talk about?
The one I fear is just Sydney, and the rest of these, I just think Summer Promise is clearly better than. The Mark Casse horses are interesting. I see that Richard brings up that he enters 3 in this race. Me and My Shadow, I think, is the one to kind of look for here. Definitely a nice 4-length debut victory on the synthetic over at Woodbine. I could see this horse maybe liking the dirt, of course, by Violence. Go ahead. Violence. And out of a Smart Stripe mare. So I think this horse might like the dirt a little bit here. But I just think that the 9-horse Summer Promise is just a little bit better. You mentioned Sias. He always jumps on for Lucas's best horses. So that's a good sign as well. Also, if you like workouts, my goodness, a bullet work out of 97 horses on July 3rd at Churchill Downs kind of says that she's probably going to show up here pretty sharp.
I think she should be okay. Did you read the article on DRF about Cassie and his 3 horses? I thought it was pretty interesting when he talked about it.
I did not read it, but I did hear Magic talking about it on the show yesterday.
Yeah, so apparently they took Me and My Shadow to work out at Belmont. The horse loved the dirt. Absolutely loved it. They took Adora to work out at Belmont. The horse hated the dirt. Absolutely hated it. So the 3 horse apparently, again, this is trainer speak, so take it with a grain of salt. As I said, I believe trainers lie more than they tell the truth, especially in these articles. So, but he said that the 6 horse Me and My Shadow loved the dirt. The 3 horse Adora didn't like the dirt at all. And the interesting part to me was the 5 horse Janis Joplin, who I think is actually a little interesting here because it was able to be professional in that first race after breaking, wasn't even close to fully cranked for the first race. And so that you're going to see a very different version of that horse now. We'll see what that means. You never really know. But at 15-1, I'm probably going to be using the 5 horse Janis Joplin underneath and see if we can get her to sneak up into that try or the exacta, because you're probably going to have 4 or 5 of these go, and hopefully she's the one who doesn't and is able to kind of pick up some pieces at a price.
Yeah, it's funny that you're kind of laughing about the trainer speak. I tune all of that out. I didn't pay attention to anything Magic said. I don't care what these guys say. I really don't, because I've been burned by that so many times. And if you do, that's great and that's fine. But I just yeah, whatever. Like, we're entering a horse that hates the dirt here. Okay. Like, I don't buy that for a second.
Well, and that's the thing. It's like, why are you here then? Like, what was this point? You just taking a shot? Like, what's the deal? Anyway.
Well, and then he said we did it. He said we did it because we thought there would only be 4 or 5 horses in the race. Okay, now there's 9. So just scratch the horse. Yeah, I mean, it's not in the early scratches, so it's on. Yeah. It's
like, oh, okay. So you're running 3, even though one of them likes the dirt. That's great.
Right. Yeah.
Thanks for that. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Before we get into the bets today, do you have any live long shots that you like today?
Oh man, I do.
Putting you on the spot a little bit.
No, it's okay because believe it or not, I have looked at the Saratoga card pretty hardcore. I
figured you might have.
There's a couple here. I like the 2 in the 6th race today a little bit. I think that is a wide open crapshoot of a race. I think the 2 getting to the turf. I kind of think the 2 will like it, and I like 5.5 furlongs. I like horses. They're going to dirt, to turf that have early speed. This one seems to have it. So I just hope the 2 for the inside rail kind of kicks clear in the 6th race here, experiments with the dirt, and, kind of gets to mid-stretch and goes, you know what? The surface isn't too bad. I kind of like it. So I do like that horse. There was one more. Where was that? What race is that in? The 4th race. I did not put the horse on top, but I got him in 2nd. The 2 horse in the 4th race as well, a first-time starter for Jonathan Thomas. That debuts in a race that's a lot of these horses have kind of had their chances. So I kind of like the 2 a little bit in the 4th and then the 2 in the 6th as well.
So I used the 2 in the 6th and I used the 2 in the 4th. So I think both of those are usable horses. I thought the 7 in the 4th was interesting as well. And this horse has had a lot of opportunities. Afghan, it was in the Pletcher barn for 4 races, but lost in the Union, then McAllen, Aussie Pride, which I think is a 1.6 or 2.4 something $1 million horse for the Bill Mott barn, then comes back race off the race off the switch to Maker and faces Actuator, who just came back and won, I believe it was the Indiana Derby. It was that or Ohio, one of the 2. Really good backlines, and it's a clear lone speed horse. I don't see anyone pressing the 7 at all up front. So I think that Atjan could get loose there at 5-1. And then the other horse that I think is kind of interesting here, if you go to the 8th race, which I think it's one of the more interesting races on the card in general. We can talk a little bit about that if you'd like. Mm-hmm. But the 4 horse Missy Greer, clear lone speed, Saez, Gargan stretching this horse out. Mile and an 1/8 shouldn't be an issue here with a Nyquist out of a Looking Out a Lucky Mare. You're getting 15-1 on the morning line. Anytime you tell me I'm getting clear lone speed with a horse that can get the distance and Saez aboard on the turf at Saratoga, I'll take my shot at 15-1.
Yeah, I didn't consider this 4 horse because I do think the jump up is going to have to be a lot. But I do also agree with you that the horse is the speed of the race. I'm just hoping, some of these other horses are able to catch this filly on the front end. I don't hate it, though. I mean, if you're going to take a swing, that one does make sense. Yeah, I mean, he's not going to be on my ticket. I'm not going to lie to people, but I could see the 8th race coming around, this horse going gate to wire, and you sending me a nice big smile text. So
it's an interesting one too. You got 2 solid Clements, and then probably the biggest curveball thrown today from a scratch perspective. The 13 draws in for Chad Brown and Flavian Pratt. This is a private purchase from Madacat Stables. They brought it over here specifically for the Saratoga meet. It'll be the first time we see her in the U.S. Did you use the 13 And Magic sent us all these posts. No post outside the 8, I believe it was, going 2 turns last year was over 10%. Terrible job on the outside post. Not a great spot to be. Obviously, breaking from the 12 hole is going to be tough here for first time in the U.S. 8-1 on the morning line, that's a pipe dream. Probably 4-1, 3-1, something like that when they actually go off. Was this a horse you used? Or did you pass on it?
Yeah, I ended up putting this horse in. Did not have it in originally because didn't think it would scratch in because, I mean, it's Saratoga. You don't have a lot of scratches usually. Then, boom, the 11 scratches out. I put the 13 in. I actually bumped out the 2 horse, Bravo Kitten, to replace with the 13. I like this horse a lot. That's the other problem with the 4 as far as me not having it on the ticket. There's a lot of horses that just look to have a good deal of talent in this race. It's an opening day allowance at Saratoga. You know it's going to be tough, but I'm very interested in the 13 horse. Could be no good at all, or could be really good. And I think it's important to note Pratt was on the 12, right? But his first preference was the 13, so he hops off the 12 to get to the 13 now that she's drawn into the race.
And we got 2 horses here. If you watch Saratoga Slim's backside blogs, Christophe Clement was planning on putting My Risky Affair and Cancy in the, I believe it was the Belmont Oaks, the longer turf race, $700,000 turf race, and they end up in an N1X allowance on opening day at Saratoga here. So if My Risky Affair stays at 7-2, I probably will have a sizable win bet on My Risky Affair. Well, I do like the 4 as a long shot. I think 7-2 is a great price on the 3 horse. Yeah,
I like the 3 horse quite a bit as well. I think Clement, the last 2 meets, he's really jumped up and had a really good start to the meet. I have the number 3, My Risky Affair, on top, and exactly. And what you said is a great sign. This horse, like I said, was heading towards that Belmont Oaks, didn't do it, and now is in an allowance. And the horse got second in a Grade 2 race last time out. Got beat by Consumer Spending, who certainly didn't disappoint in the Belmont Oaks. She ran a very good race, just got up late and hit the board, but couldn't quite get there. I'm with you. My Risky Affair top pick, 7-2. Again, maybe that's a pipe dream, but if we're getting close to that, I think that's a pretty good bet as well.
The deep field. I'm hoping we can get somewhere right around there. Last question before we go. We got someone asking about the first race of the day, 9-horse field. It's a classic Saratoga, 1 1/8, shitty claimers that are going to be stumbling home coming down the stretch. The last 3 years, this race has been won wire to wire. Does this race go wire to wire again today?
I think Bear Alley, who is my top pick, can do it. I think that's the horse that can do it. Flavian Pratt is riding a ton for Maury. If you've seen the entry so far, you're seeing this connection a lot. And I think it's because Flavian Pratt, or his jockey agent, probably more realistic, know that Maury is very good with these types of horses. And you have these types of claiming races at Saratoga a lot, and Maury's going to be here. Yes, long answer to the question. I think Bear Alley does take it gate to wire. And I got to tell you something, man. This is a great tradition at Saratoga, going 1 1/8 on the dirt. They break right in front of the crowd. That's why they do that, and it's always a cheap claimer. So I love it.
I mean, I think it was 2 years ago, Luis Cardones won the first race and didn't win another race at the meet until I think it was the day before closing day, something like that. He was a bug I thought he did a good job. He's now more of a journeyman after losing the tag, but I thought that was kind of interesting as well. Man, I think that all the trainers noticed this. There's like 6 speed horses out of these 9 horses. I went with Kershaw on top, but I do think the 6 Bear Alley is the other horse that to me makes a ton of sense here.
And I see some people with other thought, like I like the 4, or I saw somebody else say something. This is the race where if it does get that pace that you're talking about, weird it can happen, because like you said, they all aren't, they all don't. I mean, it's very questionable if they get 1 1/8. And if you get a wild pace, all of a sudden anybody could win that thing. It's going to get wide open, and it's a fun race. And I think somebody else pointed out, look, it's been a shorter field in recent years. We got a good field of 9 here, so that makes it exciting for sure.
Just let the bomb start early, baby. Let the shit hit the fans and the rafters right away. Like, who knows, right? It's Saratoga. Thank you very much for everyone joining us. First off, got a ton of people in the room, ton of comments. Yeah. We will be live every day, Wednesday through Sunday, until this is not here, because that's the plan, with our best bets for the day in either sports or horse racing. I have a feeling we're going to be very horse-centric here for the next couple of weeks. We've got Saratoga obviously opening this weekend. We've got Del Mar opening next weekend, and we don't have any NFL to bet for a while. So I think we're probably going to be pretty horse-centric. We'll try and talk about the big stakes races of the day, the big events happening, and we'll talk about some sports stuff as well as it comes up. But thank you very much, everybody, for joining us here. Real quick, let's fly through the picks. Aaron, race 9, number 9, 3-1 on the morning line right now. Hopefully, Coach can get it done in the first stakes race of the day. The absentee Papa Dude pick of the day, Rangers -119. He's going to try and get it rolling there. I'm going to go with a daily double starting in race 2. I'm going to take the 6-horse, the Pletcher first-time starter, who's heavily touted, and roll it into the 4-horse High Tide in the third race. We're 1 for 3 for the week. We're going to make that better. We're going to get it going here today. Thank you again for everybody for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow at noon.